Well, I parked directly over an enormous hole, which I'm trying to ease my way past to get out of here. This was a perfectly lovely sight for the evening. There were plenty of flies, and it's very rutted, so I imagine this is a mess when it's wet. And there's another big hole. I think I'm gonna have to come out this way and then back up a little bit. Yeah, there's all big holes. Not a whole lot of choices here. Just plenty of big holes. We are at the Greyrocks Reservoir. Look at that view. Just look at it. And I caught a beautiful sunset last night. See if we can get that bug out. I got about 8 flies because the temperature last night was well, it was still 95 degrees inside at 9 o'clock last night, even though it was down to 89 outside. So it actually took quite a while for it to get cool enough to be able to go to sleep. So, today is Wednesday, July the 9th. It is 8:29 a.m. and 82 degrees outside already, according to Henry, but I think that's wrong. I think that's because we were facing into the sun. There's a lot of really big holes here, so we really had to ease our way in. And I'm looking at my tire pressures. Since I got my new tire pressure gauge and got them all aired up properly, I haven't had any tire pressure issues. So yay for that. And the replacement tire pressure gauge I got, or compressor, is exactly the same. Well, it's not exactly the same. It is the Ryobi 1 18 volt plus thing, or 18 volt, whatever. It's a Ryobi. And the one that I got replaces the one that we had before.
Turn left, then turn left.
And this one is actually accurate. It reads the same on the air compressor as it does on my TPMS. The other one was off by about 3 psi in the 75 to 80 pound range. So I always had to hold the TPMS with me and then wait and, you know, keep adjusting to get to the right pressure, but don't have to do that with this one. And they've changed the footprint of it a little bit, which is actually the oddest thing about it, because it's not intuitive. When I first turned it on, I had the handle pointing up, battery pointing down. I'm like, what scale is that in? Because it didn't look like PSI, it didn't look like KPA. And so I finally, I cut out the directions and I'm looking at the illustration and I was like, oh, try turning it around. And sure enough, I was trying to read it upside down. So that was the only little odd thing. We have a 13-mile drive that is ostensibly going to take us 21 minutes. I bet it's going to take us longer than that because I think about 6 miles of it is dirt road. And who knows what kind. So bye-bye Greyrocks Reservoir, you've been fun. Oh wow, look at all the dumpsters. Cool. Alright, well, we're going to be turning left when we get back on the road. If we see something really interesting along the way, I will of course share it with you. And we'll see you when we get to Fort Laramie.
Wake up with the sun in our eyes. Sally forth, no need for goodbyes. Journey calls, let's roll the dice. Every mile a new surprise.
So here's a recommendation for RVing, which is always be dumping. When you see an opportunity to get rid of some trash, take it. It's always a good idea. So, now we're going to get on the road. Yeah, I saw all those dumpsters there right after I stopped the camera. And I said to Barb, do you have any trash to get rid of? So we both just dumped it all off, so yay for that. Here's another hint. This is a really good tip, actually. So I had no cell signal here whatsoever. And fortunately, I am actually now really glad I got Starlink. I had resisted for a long time. But if I had pulled in there with no cell signal as early as we got there yesterday, I probably would have kept going until I got to some place that had a cell signal. And in fact, I have a feeling
Greyrocks Road for 5 miles.
that where we had planned to be, which is going to be about 4 miles down the road here, there probably was a cell signal. At least that's what I recall from reading the reviews and stuff that I was looking at when I was looking at this reservoir. Yeah, so see, we could have come all the way down here. This is all lovely too. But we didn't know it was hot. We were tired. We could see a boat ramp. We could see vault toilets. And so we knew that was going to be okay. Fair number of people down here actually along the shoreline. So back to my tech tip. All right, so I'm using oh, and they had a bunch of dumpsters there too. So I'm using Starlink all night last night. Well, not all night until I went to bed and I turned it off. And I turned it back on this morning so I could do some doom scrolling. And then before I turned Starlink off, I put in our first destination in Google Maps on my phone and started the route. Here's the thing that seems to be true with Google Maps. Once you have started a route, as long as you don't deviate from the map, as in, you know, don't add extra stops, don't close your map, as long as you let that route run, even if you don't have a signal, you will still be okay. Yeah, here's more public access area. So there were lots of opportunities for us to camp all along here, but we chose the first thing we saw. And it was fine. I mean, there was one neighbor that was probably, I don't know, 250, 350 yards away from us at least. Probably more than that. And because of the way the bushes were situated, unless we were standing in a certain place, we couldn't see him. So that was all very cool. And this is absolutely beautiful. I enjoyed my night in Wyoming. I think that, Wyoming, yeah. That, I was going to say that might be my only night in Wyoming on this trip, but I don't think that's true. Because we're going to come back around through the northern part of Wyoming. And I think we're going to hit Jackson. And so is Grand Tetons in Wyoming? Yellowstone, is that Wyoming? I don't know. We're planning to do both of those as well, so we'll see what happens as we get there. And I drank half my cup of coffee before we left and managed to get through all those big holes without spilling it. I'm kind of rambling now because the view is so nice. I'm just sharing it with you. I hope you're enjoying it. I know you're not getting as much of the reservoir as I am, but it's very nice. Ooh, look at that butte. That's a butte. Or a mesa. The only downside to this reservoir is lots and lots and lots of flies. The upside with these flies, they're not biting. So that's good. I managed to get several of them out this morning. I think I've still got 4 or 5 in here because it was so bloody hot. Even though I knew I was letting flies in, I had my emergency exit windows propped open as wide as they would go. And trying to get as much air through as possible. And surprisingly, I made it through the night. I thought I was going to turn the AC on about, 6:30, 7 o'clock and run it for a couple of hours to cool down the interior as the exterior was cooling down. I ended up not doing it, and it was okay. What I did do was sit in front of the fan. I've got a little USB fan, and I put that up on the table, and it was blowing a breeze across me, so it actually felt less hot. I felt worse for Kit, And today is going to be just as hot, if not hotter. So I've picked out an RV park. We're going to try and get hookups and run power all night. We'll see what happens. Right, kid? We'll see what happens, won't we? I haven't had my slide out in I don't know how many days now. Because the other thing I realized yesterday was, especially when it's bloody hot like that, if I put my slide out, even though the side of the slide is in shade, maybe the sun comes around and hits the, the full wall side on the driver's side. But maybe the sun comes around and then it's beating on the side of the slide, the portion that slides out, which is right next to the refrigerator, so it's like a double whammy. So I decided just to keep it in again last night because it's better insulated inside the RV than when it's sitting out in the slide. And depending on how our parking goes tonight, especially if it ends up being on the sun side, which I hope I can avoid. Because it is so hot, my temperature keeps going up above 50 degrees. I think it was 45 when I got up this morning. It got up to 60 yesterday evening. And that's with it in the shade once we got parked. But we were driving with it in the sun quite a bit. Alright, we were about to start on unpaved roads. Look at that view! Just look at it. But this is not only is this a county road that we're going to turn on, this is a state road. And I think this is going to be the first sign we've seen for Fort Laramie. Assuming that's what this is. What's that say? Unpaved 7 miles. So that sign said that you could go straight to US 26 to get to Fort Laramie, but it doesn't tell you how far. And this is 7 miles. Hopefully it's not 7 miles of washboard, but we'll see. Hopefully it's not 7 miles of washboard. Days ago when we were driving on a lot of dirt roads, we found a herd of horses that actually moved from the side of the road, spread out and blocked the road for quite a while. As we got closer, I could see that there was a foal lying in the ditch on the left-hand side, and the whole herd was protecting the foal. It was pretty amazing. And they really did not want to let us pass. I didn't want to honk the horn at them or anything, so we just kind of kept inching up very, very, very slowly. And I mean, the tail and the butt of one of the horses was like right under, it was a smaller horse, right under my rear view mirror on my passenger side. I was really afraid it was going to back up and I was going to hit it. But it just stood its ground, and they let me inch slowly past, and then Barb came behind. And then just after we got past, I could see the foal get up, so I actually felt better about that. Now, wild about being in the wrong lane going up over a hill that I can't see past, but hopefully they can see me. And just as a reminder, this is a state highway. Look at that view. Just look at it. I'm going to gear down because I have a feeling this is going to be all washboardy too. And I don't want to pick up a whole lot of speed going down the hill. Well, this actually seems better, maybe. Maybe. Well, this is beautiful. According to Google, the speed limit is 55. I'm doing 19 now. I was doing like 13 coming up the hill. I'm thinking that when I get my annual maintenance stuff done this winter, I should have them crawl around underneath and along the sides and check all of my bolts and whatever to make sure my house is not rattled off of the frame this summer. We've been doing a lot of bouncy dirt roads. Probably good for the fuel economy when you can only do 10 or 15 miles an hour. A lot of rolling hills out here, and it is very pretty. Doggone it. Just when I think it's going to be okay, it turns horrible again. A nice little homestead here with all the trees. Good Lord, how do they deal with all of this? This is a state highway, guys. Okay, well, I won't make you go through all the pain of this. Well, I got excited because at first I thought there was a little pavement under the washboard. But what this really is the pavement that is here is just washboard. How does that happen? I'm going to have to look that up. How does washboard happen? I mean, this is asphalt. I think you can see that. Crazy, I tell you. Just fell. Nope, that didn't do it. So what I'm trying to do is find the least washboardy part. We're doing 8.6 mph now. 7.8. Yeah, I mean it's crazy, guys. And we have how far to go? Five more miles. 5 more miles. And apparently my Carpy Ride device has a wire problem. So it's got a 12-volt connector, and it's become very, very sensitive. So anytime I hit a big bump, it just turns itself off and reboots. Although currently it's just off, which I think is fine because might as well wait until we get out of this washboard. Otherwise, it'll just be rebooting constantly. I started watching Carolyn's RV Life, I think when I first saw her watching videos on Bob Wells, so many, many years ago. And we've met a few times throughout the past few years that I've been a Nomad. And I used to watch her driving roads like this, and I'm thinking to myself, I would never do that. Oh, wait a minute. Yes, I would. Yes, I would. Although, I think after this summer's travels, I will be doing less bad dirt road for a while, because just in the past week, we have certainly had more than our fair share of it. I mean, it was just a few days ago, we did like 30 miles of dirt road at about this speed. So it was a very, very, very long drive. So we're doing 7 miles to save I don't know how many. But we're doing those 7 miles at an overall average of about 10 miles an hour. So that's going to take, what, 45, 50 minutes to go 7 miles. What are we down to? How much more do we have? 3.5. I'll be interested in seeing how long this actually takes. Oh look, it's an intersection. And to a large extent, Barb is smarter than I am, because she's not willing to rattle her rig apart at higher speeds. So I decided I really just need to slow down. All right, so 3 miles. It's not an intersection. It's just a, wow, you only got 3 more miles of this horrible stuff to go. Woohoo! I don't believe it. What did I say it was? 3 point something. 3.3 now. I think I would prefer they were rounding up in this instance. My thought is that we're going to get up here. Oh, a deer. See the deer? Off to the right and out of sight. Really fast. My thought is we're going to get up here and then find out that we could have gotten here in the same amount of time if we had gone straight, even though the distance might have been significantly longer. But this feels like an adventure, right? My whole life feels like an adventure. And what would you see? You know, would you have seen that deer if you were on a paved road traveling at, 55, 65 miles an hour? Chances are pretty good that you wouldn't have. In part because the deer probably wouldn't have been there, because deer are fairly smart for being, dumb animals. But in part because the faster one is driving, the less attention you can pay to your surroundings, other than what pertains to the driving aspect. Traffic, road conditions, that kind of thing. But see, I'm out here, I'm looking at the pretty flowers. Ooh, what's that one? Oh, Jimson weed. Wasn't a very big patch of it though. And been seeing a ton of black-eyed Susans. There were a lot of them at Reservoir, where we were in Colorado a couple days ago. And there were a lot of them at Greyrocks, where we were last night. And then there's quite a few along the roadside here. Snake. I think I missed it. Yeah, it's still moving. But same thing, if I was doing 55, 60 miles an hour, I would not have seen the snake. I'm guessing wildlife is not a trash problem here, because all the dumpsters I've seen, you know, ones at Greyrocks, and we just passed one at a ranch road, all are just open tops. Kind of interesting. Alrighty. Slow it down again. So I'm thinking that the sign that said we were 3 miles out should have said, turn back now and go the other way. It will still be faster. Because from 3 miles back, you know, that sign, we're not 3 miles from that sign. In fact, we're 1 mile from that sign. The road has only gotten worse and I've only had to go slower. Our average speed is down to about 7 or 8 now. Yeah. Wyoming.srt between Greyrocks and Fort Laramie. I would say avoid it. Go the other way. Alright, somebody thinks that side of the road is better. Is that true? Nope, not really. Now, what you're probably not getting the full effect of, because GoPro does a really good job of stabilization. I mean, I am watching my camera move on its windshield mount like an inch in each direction. That's how rocky, you know, washboardy this is. And I'm doing 9 miles an hour. But you're not going to get the full effect of this because the GoPro's image stabilization is so good. Just saying. I'm not going fast. It's not smooth. I'm not making stuff up. This is all part of the camera's perspective. It's also one of the other things that happens with videoing stuff, you know, on the road, is that oftentimes when I say something is super steep, you'll look at it in the video and say, well, that doesn't look that bad. What's she talking about? Yeah, it's a whole lot different in real life. Oh, look, I'm up to 17 miles an hour for a moment. I don't think it'll last too long, though. All right, how much more do we have of this? Let's just see. .3 miles. Oh, look, another sign. So this really is an intersection this time. And we're going to go to the left. They're not going to bother to tell us how much further we have to go yet. Road 11 looks even worse. Actually, no, it doesn't. Doesn't look any worse, and it might even be better. Ooh, narrow bridge. That'll be fun. I was going to turn the camera off, but I guess I won't. Slow. Like there's any choice. By the way, Garmin thinks the speed limit is 40. Google thinks it's 55. No weight limit listed for this bridge. So I guess everything's okay. Kind of like we're crossing a canal more than a river. Interesting. Locked gates ahead. Access road not for public use. It certainly has been pretty. I'm tempted to park here and make breakfast in the shade. And if I were by myself, I probably would. We haven't seen a single other vehicle on this road. And I'm sure when we tell the visitor center we came in 160, they'll just laugh at us. When flooded, turn around, don't drown. Okay. Well, I think this might be a driving day video that I'll just do this one section of getting to Fort Laramie. Another narrow bridge, huh? Because why build them wide when you've only got this amount of traffic? Oh, that dumpster has a lid on it. That looks like somebody's private ranch there. Tell you what, it sure is pretty. Now this looks like a regular river channel. The first one we went over looked like a canal. Pavement! We've got pavement! Wow! Oh, there's a sign behind us facing the other way that says rough road. Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. $1,000
In a quarter mile, turn right.
Okie dokie. Well, this is very, very pretty. Fort Laramie National Historic Site. Well, we got a gatehouse here. It's got a green light on it. Does that mean it's open, or does that mean we go past it? We're going to find out in just a moment. This is actually bigger than I thought it would be. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. Welcome. It's a fee-free park. Anybody in the gatehouse? Nope. The Rustic Hotel. No second-rate affair. Huh. Alright, well. Boy, that's some thick gravel. So we got a little travel trailer there.
Turn right.
A Class C. A van. It's okay. It's okay.